Guys, please like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love college football. Here we go. Again, as I said in my last video, I'm not changing my Florida State Clemson pick. Here's what Florida State needs to do if they want to beat Clemson. Number one, they need to take advantage of the fact that Clemson has had a lot of penalties on both sides of the ball while on the road. It's one thing playing Clemson at home. It's a whole other ball game when you play with them when they're not at home and they're on the road in a hostile environment. Okay? So Florida State needs to play a clean game penalty-wise. I remember the North Carolina game they had 2 years ago and the Miami game they had last year when they upset Miami. I know they weren't really top 5, top 10 quality teams, but both teams were clearly better than Florida State, and they were both clearly big games for FSU to win at home. So if Florida State can play like that as far as discipline and penalty-wise, they have a chance to win this game. Number two, the running game. Clemson is not exactly great at stopping a team that knows how to run the football, especially with an athletic quarterback. NC State didn't have a running game, but I didn't think it'd be much of a factor with Clemson. I should have thought about that a little bit differently, obviously. NC State struggled to run the football, not just with Clemson, but everybody they played up to this point, even Texas Tech. So Florida State, I don't think they'll get 150 yards against Clemson, but if they take the same approach that they have with LSU and control the football and get at least 7, 5, 6, even 4 yards running per carry and wear down Clemson's defense, running it up the middle, and just do that, just chip away at Clemson's defense. Because clearly Clemson's defense can shut down FSU if they want to. But if you do that and mix up play action passes and take deep shots, that's another thing Florida State needs to do. Take deep shots. Wake Forest took deep shots. I understand Wake Forest's offensive line is far better than FSU's, but I do think Jordan Travis will have just enough time to take shots downfield against Clemson's secondary. Clemson's secondary is not good at defending deep shots. That's something I don't understand NC State didn't do in that game with Clemson, but beats me. Florida State can land at least 3 or 4 big plays down the field against Clemson. They can win this game and mix up the running by getting 3 or 4 yards per carry, 5 yards, 6 yards. Even if they don't bust a big one to score a touchdown, they can win this game and wear out Clemson's defense and hold on to the ball. Because remember when they played LSU, who was clearly a more talented team, much like this game, they control the time of possession. So if they do that, they can win this football game. I don't think the field goal kicking game will really hurt them as much in this game, just for that reason alone. And it hurt them against LSU on the road. It shouldn't hurt them in this game. Another thing, Florida State's defense has got to do what they did last year and contain, DJ Uyunglele from running the football. NC State contained him pretty well. I don't think Florida State's defense is quite as good as NC State's as far as athletes, but they're good enough to contain DJ and keep him from getting big runs like he could get against NC State. They also have to do a better job containing Will Shipley. For the most part, teams haven't been able to run the football on Florida State like they wanted to. Wake Forest did. Again, Wake Forest has a good offensive line. They ran the football fairly well against Clemson too, so it wasn't really a big surprise to me when Wake Forest beat FSU by running the football so well in the first half. I don't think Florida State's going to have that big of an issue as they will with Wake Forest running the football on them. Will Shipley's great, but Clemson's offensive line is not Wake Forest's offensive line. That's another thing. Even, let's say, I'm talking about if Jared Verse doesn't play and if Fabian Lovett doesn't play. Florida State has got to get pressure on DJ. I think they can. They will in this game. Everybody has gotten pressure on him when Clemson's not at home. Another thing they need to capitalize on. NC State didn't really capitalize. They should have had at least 2 picks that were tip passes or overthrown passes that were bad throws by DJ, because he still has that tendency. Florida State needs to take advantage of that. They have the defense to take advantage of that and get points, or at least, again, keep the ball away from Clemson, to keep them from executing on offense. They can do that, they win this game. And again, turnovers. Florida State has to force DJ to fumble or throw an interception. Florida State can do that. I think they can do that, or at least hold them to missed field goals. If you look at BT Potter, whatever his name is, he missed 2 or 3 field goals against FSU last year at home. I think he will miss another field goal or 2. He won't have as bad of a kicking game against FSU again, but he will miss at least 1 or 2 field goals against Florida State. That's my opinion. There you go. And again, Florida State has to be really good on special teams. They have to do that against Clemson. I don't think they'll get a touchdown on kick return, but they're good enough to at least set up some good blocking, or at least get a crease to get FSU decent field position in this game. So if Florida State can do all these things, They should win this game. I do think even if they lose to NC State, they can beat Clemson at home. Again, let's look at the history. Clemson's always struggled against Florida State in Tallahassee when Florida State's a pretty good team. That's just what it is. Secondly, Florida State has had 2 big games at home with North Carolina and Miami. Guess what? They played a clean game and ended up beating both those teams. For that reason, they should win again. And number 3, Florida State, in my opinion, has grown more than Clemson did compared to last year. And my point is, if FSU competes with Clemson at Clemson with a lesser team than what they have now, and should have beat Clemson at Clemson, they should win this game at home. There's no excuses for Florida State. They should win this game. If they don't, not only will I be out of some money with Uncle Lou and Texas Savage, I think that's who I'm owing $50 to if they lose, then yeah. But Florida State should win this game. They, in my opinion, they're good enough to win at least one home game that they shouldn't win in terms of talent and rankings. But this is the game they win that they shouldn't win. That's just my opinion. I'm sticking to it. I'm not changing it. So go Noles, like, comment, subscribe again.